And where are we heading? So we've jumped in the car. We've obviously seen the origin story of your law firm back in Shepherd's Bush. We're heading out now to the next chapter of your law career.
Yeah. Next chapter of the law career and a very expensive trip. This car is not.
Yeah.
What is it? Les?
So you've got Les at £100. You've got Ulez at what is it? £12.50.
That's right.
And then you've got congestion charge at 15 quid.
At 15. So it's a very expensive trip to see the next journey.
Not if you're a barrister.
Well, yeah, but the reason for leaving the bar was because of the pay cuts, right? So if you're a barrister, it's doubly expensive to driving this car in. So you need to leave this at home. In fact, I had another defender. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. I had another defender, a really old defender, and again subject to one of these ULEZ charges or whatever. And I lived right on the edge of ULEZ, so I bought this defender and discovered I could only turn right out of my house. I could not turn left, literally.
So basically, Derek Zoolander of the car world.
There you go.
Right.
There
okay.
you go.
That's interesting.
There you go. So 130 quid yet to go and see my see the next chapter, which was the bar. When I went to the bar, so I converted from being a solicitor because I never actually wanted to be a solicitor. It was all right. I wouldn't say I really enjoyed it, but I wanted to be a barrister. I wanted to be in court and standing up and being a bit of a showman. And that's what I always wanted to do ever since I was a kid, sort of 7-year-old kid. And that was all inspired by, believe it or not, a TV program called LA Law.
Right.
I'm a little bit older than you.
Marginally.
Just marginally. But LA Law was, used to be on in this. There's a guy called Blair Underwood who was this flash lawyer. He used to wear these cool suits. Every episode he had a different suit on. He used to drive nice cars and got the girls a lot. And occasionally he'd do a bit of law as well, right? So that was a bit of a bonus as well. So yeah, that inspired me. I always wanted to be a lawyer. So the idea of standing up in court was what it was all about for me, as opposed to sort of sitting in an office and sort of pen pushing. Don't get me wrong, as a criminal solicitor, you're out in police station and in the courtroom as well. But I wanted to be wearing a wig and gown and doing all that sort of stuff. So crossed over to the bar, and prior to that I was in that quasi role. They call them High Court advocates, solicitor advocates, which was a new creation, new type of lawyer, which was a sort of hybrid between a barrister and a solicitor. So it meant that as a solicitor you would have the access to the public and you can have direct access.
Got it.
As a barrister you can't. So as a barrister, under the old rules, you had to have a solicitor as your client, and that solicitor would then in turn have the lay client, i.e. your punter, who was the client. So this hybrid role meant that you could do away with having a barrister and a solicitor representing an individual. You could just have one lawyer and sort of buy one, get two, get another one free kind of thing.
Got it.
So that, it was good while it lasted, but then I crossed over to the bar because all I wanted to do was be an advocate, being in court. And so crossed over, and that's where I remained, where I was living my best life. Enjoyed it, and I often said to people, and I used to train barristers and so on. And when kids mentoring, I would say to them, if you are keen on doing the law, it was probably the only job outside of being a professional footballer, as far as I was concerned. It's the best job on the planet. Really, great fun.
Interesting. So we're heading to your old chambers.
Yeah, to my old chambers. I haven't left the bar. I'm still a barrister, so I still have my subscriptions paid. I still keep up with my, my ongoing qualifications, bits and pieces. So I could actually stop off right now, grab my wig and gown, and pop into court and do a trial. I probably won't do that now because you guys need to get home, right? But so I am still a barrister, and I do it more now. Occasionally, I've got some legacy bits and pieces that I still have to keep my hand in on. But I'll do it now if I fancy the case, if I enjoy the case, if it works with what I'm doing time-wise. But I love it. I absolutely love it. The law is it's a great thing to do, and it's there's plenty of enjoyment, plenty of fun, loads of camaraderie. But just didn't pay too well. And what I was finding was that. I entered, I'm from Shepherd's Bush, right? So what got me into it, I wanted to do blood and guts. I wanted to represent the everyday man on the street. But as the pay cuts came in for legal aid work, many barristers, such as myself, criminal, blood and guts type lawyers, I found myself doing, I've gone the wrong way here, not even paying attention. I found myself doing sort of white collar corporate crime cases. So they paid a lot better, and you'd get your case and you start counting the pages to see how much is this case going to generate in terms of money, because pages count. Blood and guts cases don't have that many pages. Ordinarily, in comparison to massive fraud cases, you can imagine you could have a fraud case which has got 10, 20,000 pages. That means decent pay. If you're just doing you may do a murder, it may have, 100 pages. So the stakes are high, and that's the types of cases that I did, murders and a lot of gangland stuff. But the financial reward isn't commensurate with the stress and so on. So a lot of people were getting into the white collar crime stuff. I was sort of slipping into it, and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's enjoyable, but I wanted to represent the man on the street. That's after all why I got involved. So the idea was step away, go and make some money, and then come back. Once I've made some money doing whatever, come back to the law, and then I can do the cases I wanted to do, not the cases that I felt I had to do in order to keep a roof over my head. There's loads of barristers out there who aren't making that much money, especially the young ones starting off. They can. It's reported in the newspapers that plumbers make more money than a lot of barristers. Taking nothing away from plumbers, right? What they do is an important job, but let's face it, a plumber gets something wrong, all right, you have a wet house. A barrister gets something wrong, someone goes to prison for the rest of their lives. So it's not quite the way that many of the kids imagine it. So that's why I stepped away. But at the time when I'd crossed over from being a solicitor to a barrister, it was simply a case of just trying to go out there and do what I wanted to do, so I could be in the courtroom and be the showman and be at the Old Bailey and just doing trials. So it was great fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now I look forward to seeing Chambers, which I'm told is just like an office. So this is Holborn. This is where your chambers were.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where all the magic happened. So around here, you've got a lot of the barristers, all the barristers' chambers. This particular road, and there are many roads around here, which are known for just having, sets of chambers. Ours being one of them, Bedford Row. But around here, you've got like the more sort of historic inns. So just behind, you've got sort of Gray's Inn, you've got Lincoln's Inn. You've got Inner Temple, which is just a bit further back. So this is lawyer territory, really.
And as a barrister, what would you use this area for?
So it's just your offices. So barristers' chambers is just a glorified way of saying this is where the barristers live effectively and work from. It's just their offices. But it's collectively operated and run by the members of chambers who are the tenants. So you become a tenant in a barrister chambers. Once you become that tenant, i.e. you are now a fully fledged member of chambers, your name is put onto the board which sits outside on the wall outside chambers. And here we are at my chambers, and here we have it. So you have that board up there, and my name is on there now as a door tenant as opposed to a sort of active daily tenant, because I'm not full-time. I am still able to practice. I am still a practicing barrister.
You are still Royal Ledgister barrister?
Yeah, absolutely. Still am, believe it or not. So I could go to court this afternoon, just back on my wig and gown and go and appear. So names on, this is it.
And you mentioned earlier that LA Law and Blair Underwood was a particular inspiration of yours, and he had a different suit every single time.
That's right, he was a bit flash.
You've left the law. I assume you've gone and bought yourself a different suit for every single occasion you would have needed it as a barrister.
Well, I had a few suits. I think I probably had about 30 odd suits, probably even more than that, actually. And I would wear a different suit to court. I could probably run a trial. It depends on the length of the trial. If a trial ran for a month or so, I could easily wear a different suit every day of the trial. But now, now I don't. There's no need for the three pieces. But I still wear the blazers.
Yeah, you look sharp.
I actually don't wear this in court. I did wear this to court once, and getting ready at home when it was quite dark and it didn't seem too bad, I got into court, and under the bright lights of the courtroom, you've got this like beaming green suit, and I spent the whole time pulling my robe over it. It was really quick hearing, but so you couldn't see it. But so I still got the suits.
Well, I think if there's someone that's got some secrets about you that we'd like to hear, it's your tailor.
I've been going to him a long time.
Take me to him. I think we should have a chat.
Yeah, I don't think we should.